I'm an American. I got here 23 years ago, and the pastor said, Bob, if you want to reach the world, you only got to reach 5 cities. New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Sydney, one more, I forgot what it was. Anyway, you can see he's a Sydney person, not a Melbourne person, because basically his thought was, reach all those people and send them home. The job's done. We've got 100 and some odd ethnic groups in Sydney. You got about the same in Melbourne. Well, so I started doing some things, and lately I've been working on planting house churches. I've got one group that is Turkish, Chinese, English. What do the Turkish and the Chinese have in common? They both don't speak English well. And so they are in our community. We have our Bible study. You read it in English, she'll read it in Chinese. Please stick it in my memory, and so forth. We start with the non-Christians, expecting them to tell the story to their friends that week. So what do? They call home, and they talk to mom, and so forth. That's the way it works. We can reach the entire world by reaching the ethnic groups and then sending them off, to their home. But I had some spare time, and so I started doing some stuff on the internet and started working with a group. And I was looking at their stats for today. They're on Texas time, so they've had 4 hours so far, and in 4 hours they've shared the gospel with 200,000 people. They've seen. Okay, let me get figures. I'm terrible on figures. I think it's 26,000 people have prayed to receive Christ. Now, that'd be right. Okay, 26,000 people have prayed to receive Christ in the last 4 hours. Now, I cannot possibly follow up 24,000 people today. And so therefore I found some friends to help me out. And together we've helped about 600,000 people on the next step of their spiritual journey. You can be involved too. I brought my sheet over there. Can you bring the board over there? If you've got a pencil or a mind, think about missionaryfromhome.com. You can answer 1, 2, 3, or 4 emails a day from people all over the world. Now, I started doing that, and this guy writes and he says, Bob, I want to learn to be a missionary. I say, great. Where are you? I'm in Mali. What language do you speak? English? Most of Mali speaks French. Yeah, you got a problem, don't you? Okay, so I'll begin to train you on how to be a missionary. How am I doing it? I'm using my computer, having him go through the typical Discovery Bible studies that you folks know so well. I post the question, he types the answer. We tried doing Skype, but Skype didn't work because he's in an internet cafe and it's too noisy, and so it's just a lot easier to type back and forth. As well as a typing thing back and forth, and that seems to work pretty good. So I got some other ideas, and maybe a Skype will work. So I've got William over in Kenya now. He's in I say Eldoret, I think he says Eldoret, kind of on the Uganda border. So he and 3 of his friends get together on a weekly basis, and we do a Discovery Bible study, and it's Moses' turn to lead next time, because I don't want to lead them all. Okay, so Moses is going to lead, then Jacqueline's going to lead the next one, and then you just lead the one after that. Because we're doing it by Skype, we can see each other, and that works really cool. But Wilfred lives in Indonesia, and man, in the evening time on a rainy day, there's ain't no connection. And so we will use BBM. That's for those of you who are old people, that's BlackBerry Messenger, and it still actually works in Indonesia. And so we're typing back and forth, and we're pasting the Bible text and so forth. So, bottom line, yes, you can reach the world from Australia by working with a migrant population, or by yourself, going here, starting to meet people, and then getting involved in discipling them. If you want to know more, there's some nice business cards on that are blue. Look for a blue card and go out and take a look at how you can use your cell phone, because you don't need a computer, folks. With your cell phone, you can answer the emails and run the Bible studies.
I just met Bob and Chris when I became National Director. I visited in their home, and I, in my home, had a couple of Jesus videos, because we were using that for evangelism, or Jesus DVDs. Bob had 60 different language versions of the Jesus video on his study bookshelf. 60 languages, because that was the people that lived in his neighbourhood, who were hungry to watch a film in their mother tongue, because they couldn't get them anywhere else. And so if you're interested in how you can be a missionary from home, as Bob calls it, via the internet, then certainly talk to Bob. I met another lady in our church, who's the wife of the church secretary. One day said, "How are you, Helen?" She said, "Oh, well." I said, "What are you doing these days now that you're not working with New Life?" She was the most recent editor of New Life. She said, "Oh, I'm actually involved with Campus Crusade." And I thought, "I'm the national director. I didn't know you were involved with Campus. What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm involved in internet evangelism with Bob's team." I said, "Oh, really? How's it going?" And she said, "I think in the last 2 years or so, I've probably seen about, I think she said, about 60 people have indicated decisions to Jesus, and I know at least half of them are totally sold out and full on. And I get 25 emails a day, and I want mine in English, and they just arrive in my inbox. 25 inquiries."
Wow.
And she works from home and deals with these things.
Wow.
I'm a bit of a dinosaur with the internet, but that's the opportunities today.